the team to be great. I don't give a fuck if I did 20 diatribes or 100 diatribes against the trade. And
Right.
even before I thought, well, I guess you have to do the trade no matter what. I just was worried about, well, what would we be after? Like, if it doesn't work, we don't even have the tools to go fix it. So, but I can eat that. I can eat that loss or take that L, and give credit where credit is due, because it's shocking. But New York City has never seen a basketball this good. I wish these guys were 2 years younger, so we could have 4 years or 5 years of this. But you never know. Like, with the way these guys play, like I almost feel like you got to give the 100 mil to the 50 mil per year to Harden now. Like,
Of course, you figure out the rest later. I mean, who
right,
cares? James Harden and Durant Irving, they all have at least 3 years left. I think at this level,
right.
barring injury.
I'm
And
worried more
you do
about
that.
Kyrie going forward than those two,
He's
because
the
I'm just
youngest
worried.
and the lightest.
He is, but he's also the most disinterested.
Well, look, if he goes and he goes, we'd still be at the
Mhm.
top.
How's it?
you know,
How's it?
you
No,
know, he,
but this comes to a bigger thing to me. It's like people give Sean Marks a lot of credit for this, and I know you're one of them. I think I think no matter what, like, if the players were here that these guys wanted to play with, these guys didn't want to play with these players. These guys didn't want to play for Atkinson. Like, let's be real. If we
no, I
were in
think
New
they looked at
Jersey,
the team and said, they can sign us outright. And if one of our friends somewhere along the league is looking to get out, we can make it happen. And if not, we still have good players.
But that's, to me, that's about Brooklyn though. That, to me, that's about,
Well, it's part
they
of it,
they
yeah.
don't believe, they don't think those three players are so good, and it's probably true what their mindset is. Number one, an NBA basketball player is a ridiculously confident and cocky person, like all of them. They're not the best people to know outside off the court. There's very few that they all say, oh, off the court I'm humble. No, it's just not human nature. These guys know how good they are, especially these three. They know how good they are. They know that every other piece on this team doesn't really matter. And some of the guys that they asked to put on the team, they put on the team for vibes. Now, now me personally, I say the greatest thing that happened to the Nets, and I'm gonna hammer this point home, is them coming to Brooklyn, because if they didn't come to
Oh, of
Brooklyn,
course. Of
this
course.
none of this is happening without Brooklyn.
Absolutely. I used to argue with my friends about this when they were making the move. And they're like, they'll still be the Knicks. The Knicks will still get players over them. And I used to say, look, there's going to be times where the Knicks don't have cap space at the same time.
Right.
At least it gave them a chance to be viable. Mikhail Prokhorov saved this franchise. God, if he doesn't buy the team, they could be in another state by now.
Yeah.
Forget New York.
They might be
or,
the super science. We might be Seattle right now.
there was talking about them going to Kansas possibly. So,
Wow.
yeah, of course, Sean Marks, had that luxury that he's in a place that's desirable for people to live. But they could have went to the Knicks too, and they didn't. And they didn't.
They didn't because
probably
of the
in
Knicks,
large
though.
part because
They didn't
pressure here
because
with the
of
Nets,
Dolan.
certainly. And then, well, hey,
Like,
and look, I think there's more pressure on the Knicks for sure. So I think they were like, look, we'll get a little bit of the heat off of us.
and it's not just
Have
that
a better
though.
team. You forget
Bam,
that they.
Bam. Think about this.
Yeah, I'm here.
The Knicks practice and purchase.
Right.
Nobody wants to. If you're an NBA ball player, if you're James Harden, do you want to practice and purchase? Like, I don't think people give enough credit to Prokhorov and that group for buying for getting in that building in Industry City where you could come out. There's a nice strip club over there too. I don't know if James has been yet, but where Industry City, where you could go get a craft beer, you could go hang out. It's fun. You could just drive straight down the BQE and get to Dumbo. A lot of the players live in Dumbo. I think KD and Kyrie. I think Kyrie has an apartment here, but he lives in Jersey, and KD lives in Manhattan, not too far from his offices. But still, he could be at his office in 30 minutes from the practice facility. Who wants to play in Purchase?
Yeah, Jared Dudley was big on that that whole summer when things went down. It really is ridiculous. All the resources the Knicks have.
The Knicks should be playing in the Empire State Building if they wanted to.
Right, like some 30th floor of some skyrise there. But they don't have an entire couple floors dedicated to their practice. It's really unbelievable that they've skimped on that, because it is a pain in the ass. And while these are not college kids who need to be recruited with like great, facilities, it's still like, you're going to. I played Division III basketball. The facility's shit, and that's basically what the Knicks are practicing at. It is embarrassing.
It's they practice in an empty Costco. It's just stupid, and they might change it. They're hiring quote unquote branding guys and all of that, but the Nets did a masterful job, and we don't give Prokhorov like some of the we got some of these right wing Net fans who are very loud on Twitter, who are like, why are we giving credit to the commies? What are you talking about? That dude made his a hell of a deal. Bought the team in the stadium for about a half a billion. Sold it for 2.2, but he didn't come in and do it like a Queen's flip house. You know what I mean? Like
he gave the entire franchise a major facelift, and right. Sean Marks was the real estate agent he hired to sell it.
Yep.
And he did it. So he furnished it. Right, he furnished it, and then Durant and Irving with the new buyers who came in and put their own, finishing touches on it. Yeah. So,
because in their mind they're saying everything is right there. Because you heard KD said the Knicks aren't cool, right? Shit like that means things. They're still freaking running Spike Lee out there talking about I was there in 1973. Shit, I'm fucking old. I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes are holding on to like so long ago, and they do the same habits. RJ Barrett should be all rookie. No, you guys suck, and you guys suck at a high level. And now with them playing pretty good, I just hope that they're just good enough that they take this weird season where you've got Toronto playing in Tampa Bay, and they're kind of not who they've been.
Yeah, they're picking their play up though. They're going to be.
They're going to be. Oh hell's yeah! That team's coached too well.
Going back to the Knicks though, it's how many years have the Knicks ran the same commercial during their games? Like, yo, it's New York. Yo, I'm the Knicks. It's like the same like
loyalty.
Like a guy. Yeah, the same guy in the deli, like, we New York, we get the pastrami, we watch the Knicks. It's like, dude, just shut up. The Knicks were tough in the 90s, no doubt about it, but they've been shit ever since. I don't want to hear it anymore.
They're abused housewives. That's what I like to call them. But you know how when the police show up for the abused housewives, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Why are you so sad? Oh, he beat me. Really? Let's take him to jail. No, don't take him to jail. And then they're fighting the cops, right? I'm that cop. I'm the cop that's trying to help you, Knicks fans. I'm trying to let you know your garbage is going to always be garbage. Like, they're a rebuilding team. They hired a non-rebuilding coach. He's going to win now. He's going to make these players play a little bit above their head. But at the same time, like, you guys are trying to sell me on a player like quickly, like, their rookie players, they're not rookie players, but their young players are not even better than the players that we just gave up. Karras, Jarrett, all those guys would have started. The Knicks would cry tears if they got Dinwiddie on their team next year. Like,
I wonder what's going to happen with him. I wonder if they're
good segue.
I guess he'll probably be traded, but I can't see them just letting him walk.
I can, But
I guess if they won the title, they can say, "Screw it," let's save the money.
right,
We
but
don't need it. But
they have to pay him, and the reason why they have to pay him, and I don't think he's going to get anything ridiculous, and part of it is because of the type of contract that he has. He could just get so much. He hasn't been an all-star. He hasn't been all NBA, so he can't really, get a contract that's going to be too ridiculous. He's going to get overpaid, but
he's getting at least 16 a year.
Yeah, he's easily and
it's just fucking insane if you think about that. $16 million to play hoops.
Right, but the Nets need Dinwiddie more than any other team in the league need Dinwiddie because of Kyrie and KD. We've got to find a way to survive. Like we've got to extend this thing. Because if you could get to 2020, if you could get to 2024 with 2 championships under your belt, then you know what the Nets are going to do? They're just going to restart all over again. They're just going to hit the reset button. And if there's 2 championships that come here and other players watch how these guys are basically sitting on top of the world, of the whole world, not just the basketball world. They're talking about Kim Kardashian this morning and who she's going to replace Kanye with now that they're officially getting divorced. And somebody wrote one of the Nets Super All-Stars. Like, we're in people, not even a basketball player said that. That was someone who's just on TMZ type of shit said
Wasn't
that.
James Harden smashing her sister a bunch of years back?
Yes, he was. I forgot.
He was smart though. He was like, I'm gonna pass this off now. But we get married to her.
He did it right. He didn't. Yeah. He didn't make it a thing. He was like, you know what? I want to try. I want to party. I want to basically penetrate the veil of Hollywood. Right. He got all that shot. You know what, James Harden? We salute you. We salute you, James Harden. Let's give it up for James Harden. James Harden,
he never looks bothered by anything, other than the refs.
He really doesn't, man. I'm proud of that.
The shame of this whole thing is, and I was like depressed about it this morning. There's no fucking fans at these games. Like the comeback on Tuesday night, you didn't get when James hits that 3. Not that I didn't jump out of my seat and go nuts, but like. You didn't see like the pissed off fans throwing their hands. It's just like, come on! Like I'm watching a game at the Staples Center, and there's no oohs and ahs. It's just like, what? Why the fuck did this have to happen now?
Can I tell you that part of the reason why I didn't want, because sometimes I just don't care. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? 4 more years of Trump for shits and giggles. But honestly, part of my motivation for wanting that dude out of there is so that we could have like competent people running this country again, and potentially, getting some basketball, like actually getting in person basketball. I just want Barclays Center to open back up fully for the playoffs. If that happens,
I don't think that's happening, man. Not in full.
Man, the numbers are going down though. The numbers are going down.
I know, but they're going to want to keep them down. First off, I'm not so sure people are going to just rush to jump back into an arena and be sitting next to some slob they've never met before. I don't know that people are going to be so fast to jump to do that. I mean, I would, but.
I called my ticketing guy. I called my rep at the Nets, and I told him, I said, get me whatever you can. And he was just like, we don't have our stuff together yet. But we're pulling it together. We'll let you know as soon as possible. I'm like, how do all these other people, like, how these people getting on like the 1,500 people or the few hundred people that's in there? I guess that's only ultra VIPs. But it's like for people like Dawn, the queen of Nets fandom, like her and her husband go, they do that travel thing every year where they go on the road with the Nets. Like, it's for people like that I really feel sorry. Like, loyal people who do that even when we are fucking shit. And